Coming up next.
I think overall, as an entrepreneur and going into business for yourself, it's extremely rewarding. And, if you build a team and you build a gym, financially, it can be really lucrative for you.
The Job Talk podcast shares stories from people who are passionate and love what they do in their careers. Through conversation, we explore their careers, past work experiences, and the education that got them to where they are now. We are putting together a Career Crisis Ultimate interview series. We are asking experts to give their best advice and guidance around work anxiety, career pressures, career goal setting, and ultimately, career transformation. To learn more about this special interview series and get notified when it's available, please visit our webpage at thejobtalk.com/help.
Today's guest is Kelsey Vickers. Here's our Job Talk with a personal fitness trainer. Kelsey, thank you so much for coming on the show today. My first question for you is, were you always a certified personal trainer, or did you have experience in other industries?
You know what? I'm going to say I was a late bloomer for sure. I started in my 30s, actually. My love for fitness happened later. So yeah, definitely. It was something that I avoided at all costs, actually, before I actually got into it. So yeah, no, my exercise career was short previous to
Okay.
that.
And what were you doing previously as a career before you went into being a certified fitness trainer?
Right. I worked in a company doing office management and kind of an office role. And then I went to school. I was actually interested in private investigation. I ended
Okay.
up having kids, and then I put everything on pause, and I started working out at the gym and just had some amazing mentors, and I fell in love with it, and it just literally took off from there. There was no stopping me from then on.
Excellent. And where did you go to get your training to become a personal
So
trainer?
yeah, I went through CanFit Pro, and then I have NASM as well. And I've had some incredible, like I said, mentors throughout. Lots of personal trainer friends. My husband was a personal trainer, and it was so much knowledge was always coming at me. So it's been incredible, and I've worked
Yeah.
in some great gyms.
Well, the reason I'm asking you this is, I guess, how long does the training take for you to become certified?
Well, it's not. It's actually there's a really great program at NATE. I did not take that one, but usually, a program is about 2 years. So I was shorter than that. Mine was a few months, and then lots of training with other trainers, and just kind of getting that knowledge and that experience, and working out with them, and just reading a ton of books, and just lots of learning that way. Lots of on hands learning for me, besides the book knowledge. So it's been incredible, actually.
Yeah, I like to talk about programs and
Hmm.
careers like you have, because it takes a relatively short amount of time to go through the training. I know
Yes.
you work on your craft
Yes,
for years, but to actually get the training, it doesn't seem like it takes that long, especially if you're comparing it to like a medical field
for
where
sure.
it's 10 years of school.
Yeah, for sure. And I
Um,
mean, I think there's a lot of outside learning outside of these certifications, and some are longer. Like the NATE one is, like I said, 2 years, and it's very
yeah,
comprehensive. So if you're doing a shorter program, you have a lot of other learning to do, because you cannot, get all the information that you need. But you're learning the anatomy, and then everything else, I think, is coming from just hands-on knowledge.
once you finished and you were certified,
Mm-hmm.
can you talk about your first professional experience as being a trainer?
Oh, okay. I have, you know what? I got a good one. So I had one client. I won't say her name, but she was my
Yeah.
first client, and I was nervous, but really excited. And that was like 11 years ago, and she is still my client today. She comes back and forth, but she um, is still with me, and it's been an incredible relationship, because she is crushing her goals. She always does. She gets going and she just completes the tasks. She does everything. She's like a dream client. And if she sees
Yeah.
this, she'll know I'm talking about her because I love her. But so I mean, I had an amazing first experience, and to be honest, I have had a pretty smooth ride. I have no injuries or no one died. No
Yeah.
one. Everyone, I just have to say I've been blessed with the most amazing client base through COVID and everything. Everyone kind of stuck around, and we made it work through Zooms and other ways. And I've been blessed for sure with loyal, incredible, hardworking clients. I feel like I have the dream story.
Yeah. Have you always worked for yourself
I
as an
have.
entrepreneur, or have you worked for other businesses as well?
So I started my business Alberta Fitness in 2009, and I did go to another couple gyms, like just to do classes here and there, because I also love group fitness. And
Yeah.
and now I work for Sturgeon Valley Athletic Club in St. Albert. And that has been an incredible move. I co-own Fit and Fierce, which is a wellness program for girls. So my partner and I actually are moving the program to that club, and then I decided to move with them. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's been great.
Yeah. So you're passionate about fitness
Hmm.
and the well-being and health of your clients. And I'm
Yes.
always interested in the business side of things when
Right.
you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
How are you finding business operations? Do you enjoy it? And what kind of advice could you give people that are entrepreneurs
Yes.
and having to deal with business?
Definitely set up systems. um, for training, like the hours are something you have to consider for sure. Everybody wants early mornings or they want evenings and weekends. I've actually lucked out. I have a lot of kind of all of that whole thing: the morning, afternoon, evenings, weekends. So you do have to be prepared for that. That there is the times that most people have off when they're done work is when you're working,
Yeah.
but that's okay. As systems, just keeping track of your people and just their progress, you have to really invest and just keep track of their progress throughout the way. So you can't get lazy and drop the ball and not know what they're doing. And you really have to invest, I believe, to really make a good relationship, because you're a part of a pretty big change in their lives. So you do build a relationship. It's almost impossible not to.
Yeah.
So I think
Do you do
relationship,
your
oh,
own?
sorry. I was just going to
Oh,
say
yeah. No.
relationship building is key. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do your own accounting and that kind of thing, or would
Um,
you tell people to find a good
you
accountant?
know what? I do for the most part. I do have like some bookkeeping, someone who does some bookkeeping for me just so that it stays on task, but it's not like I run the business on my own, so I don't have staff. Like Alberta Fitness, it's just me. Fit and Fierce, we do have staff, so that whole side. We definitely have people on that end helping us out. But for me, just myself, it's pretty easy to control. Right? I do go to account. I have them deal with the end game, but it's okay if you're solo. You just have to be on task.
Have you, and I hate calling these failures,
Yeah,
but have you experienced any failures and what did you learn from them?
failures like with people or just in the business realm
I,
overall.
let's go business round.
Bill's business realm. Let me think. This is just going to take me a minute here.
Yeah.
You know what? Really nothing jumps out at me. I wish I had something really great, something real gory for you, but I don't really have any fails other than I would be better at customer service. Like as far as sending out um, like happy birthday letters and things like that, like little cards, things like that. I could have done better if I'm looking back, right? Things like that, those little personal touches, I would have amped up right from the beginning. But it's a process when you're on your own and you're learning. I'm doing that now, but right from the get go, I would really add those personal touches when you have
Yeah.
a kind of a relationship based client type of thing.
What methods do you, and this is the business side of things. We'll get into your career
Yeah,
as a trainer,
yeah, for
but
sure, for sure.
what methods have you found work the best in finding clients?
You know what? It's been, I think word of mouth is the absolute best way. I've done very little advertising, like I have here and there, but definitely it's clients talking, it's social media. People put out, I need a trainer in this area, and your name gets mentioned, and people just start talking. And that really is by far the best advertising you can get is happy clients. They're your walking example, right? So you have people that are just learning to really love fitness, and they are changing and they're becoming more positive, and it does create a ripple effect, their attitude, their energy, and it just kind of it talks to people on its own. So that is super helpful.
Let's get right into it then. What do you love about being a trainer and the career that you've chosen for yourself?
I feel very grateful. I really do. I get to be part of something that's really special. Like, I get to see people evolve and change and grow and flourish, and I get to be part of this experience that's, seeing them push through limiting beliefs that they might have about themselves. They become their courage, their, confidence, everything changes for them. And I think that's a really vulnerable um, kind of relationship to be in a great way, that I get to be part of that. And I get them, there's trust involved. So I just feel really privileged. And I lucked out. I don't hate my job. I actually think this is so cool that I get to be here and talk about that I have a job that I love. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and not a lot of people, not everyone can say that.
Yes.
Um, how do you motivate a client who's maybe discouraged at the results? Maybe it's not the results they were expecting isn't coming fast enough.
Yeah. You know what? And that's one thing is people want to see results right away. And I think from the get-go, I definitely established that it's not just you going to the gym once a week. If you see me once a week or twice a week, that's not going to get you what you're asking. We need to focus on everything. So I think when I set the tone right from the beginning that food's involved, your nutrition is absolutely key, the people around you. So I think I set the stage for myself that this is like just our relationship isn't going to be the make or break of this. So they have to they have to look at all of the areas that are going to make this a success. So um, if something if they are discouraged, it is just, let's revisit what can we improve, and that's literally all we do is we go back and say, okay, what is working, all of these things, have we checked all these boxes that need to be in place for things to get you to your goal, and we just see what's not right or what's not working.
How do you stay updated on fitness related topics? Because
It,
I meant
yes.
techniques are changing,
Yes.
information is always
Oh,
being made available
thank
to you.
God for YouTube, right? There's some amazing coaches out there, and I watch YouTube a lot, my husband and I, and there some great coaches out there. I'm always following them on social media and just learning new techniques. Like you said, things do change. There's better, smarter ways to train. So I'm always like following that for sure, and that it really comes from mostly social media and
Yeah.
magazines. And I mean, you don't need to reinvent the wheel with fitness. You really don't need to get all, don't need to stand on medicine balls and do crazy things, right? You really just need to do the basics. But how can we be efficient, make your time in the gym shorter but effective?
Which is more important to you,
Mhm.
physical fitness or nutrition? Because I
Ooh,
will ask,
yes.
I've heard and I've experienced this in my
Yeah.
life. I'm facing you straight on. I'm
Yeah.
not going to turn to the side. Um, I ask because you can't outrun a bad diet.
True story. It's a true story.
Is that
It's
true?
a true story. Abs are made in the kitchen. It's true. Yeah, you really do have to. Your food is huge, right? If you are not fueling your body and you're not replacing what you just took away from it, you're not going to get your results. You're not. It's like people who, a lot of time when I give people their macros, so they're like proteins, carbs, fats, how much they need to eat, so to speak, kind of a range, and they're like, no way, I cannot eat that much. And I'm like, you need to eat this much if you are working this hard. Like, you really do have to eat enough calories. That is big. You need to have like all of your macros matter, um, and you need to cut the crap out. Like, if you're going to the grocery aisle, you need to stay around the center for the most part, right? Like that's where all the good stuff is. I mean, sorry, on the outsides. So the stuff in the middle tends to be the stuff that's packaged and boxed and just not your healthiest choice, right? But it is about being realistic, right? Like we, if there is a snack that you love, let's turn it into something that is adds something, some type of value to your body, but is a better choice, right? Because there's always ways. That's my specialty. I love to change a snack around. I can make it.
That's why I'm never judgmental towards people who smoke
Right.
or drink a lot,
Yeah.
because I notice this with my kids in hockey. As
Right.
soon as their hockey season starts, I am going through the drive-throughs at fast
Yes, I
food
know.
restaurants,
Yeah.
and it's no different. It's just as bad for your body as smoking.
Yeah. I know. But you know what?
So
Yeah, it happens sometimes, right? I feel like one of the tricks is just it's the meal prep idea. It's the preparation. And I think that's where we got to hammer the kids and be like, you are old enough to skate. Okay. So that means you
yeah,
can like make a choice of like a sandwich or something like a pre-game snack, make sure that they have a post-game snack or something like that. But it is hard. It's real life, and we are rushed and things are busy. But I have a little handy trick, and that's Bite Me Meals, which is they're one of our sponsors, and I am a customer, a very happy customer, and they have incredible food for this exact reason. So I have my fridge full of those, and that definitely helps me out for sure.
when a client comes to you, what services are you providing to them? Are you giving them meal plans as well?
You know what? No. So what I do is I don't really believe in meal plans so much in that I feel like people, once they have a meal plan, if I say, okay, eat this throughout the day, as soon as that 4 weeks or 6 weeks is over, I feel like they haven't really learned how to deal with it on their own, right? So there's no real, they're not following it. It just goes out the door. And that's what happens with a lot of people when they're like dieting. I feel like the real diet is the like just eat good food. That's the diet that you need to be on, right? Just like move your bodies, eat decent food, and it's a win. Like you can't go wrong. So I do provide them the range of calories that I believe that they should be at with like their lifestyle and how much protein, fats, carbs that would be good for them. And that's what I give them. And then like a healthy food list. Like let's talk about, you know, the macros. What are those? What does that mean? Like what are those foods? And give them the list. And that's where I kind of bring in the support and just let's look in your fridge. Let's go in your dirty like pantry there that has all the snack drawers. Let me go to their office, open drawers. But yeah, that's we just got to find that and find a different way.
Yeah, I find it's the midnight cake eating
Yes.
experiences
Yep.
that I'm having that's being
Cake. That's a
quite
good one.
difficult.
So you need to like do something, just you need to pre-do your snack before bed like every day, and
Yeah,
that's the snack that you're pulling out, whatever that is, right? If you need crunchy or salty or sweet or whatever it is, you have to find something and pre-make it, and you're good, and you will
yeah,
be happy, you'll be satisfied. So
yeah.
yeah, there's another way.
What are some of your biggest challenges that you experience day to day in your career?
I would say probably people's attitudes about themselves. That's an obstacle that I have to go through with them and get them over, because they come in with limiting beliefs, and they come in with self-doubt, and maybe just some that they just don't believe that they can do it, or they're discouraged. So that is honestly, I think, my biggest obstacle. If they, we build a relationship, they learn to trust me, they see that, they're safe. I think that's a big one. But it's really, I think, at the end of the day, people's attitudes, and by no means are they all negative whatsoever, but that's, I think, one of the hurdles. But I get through them. It's all good.
And what do you think you're most proud of?
Oh man, I'm most proud of. I think that I get to be in a job that can create like a ripple effect, and especially with our program Fit and Fierce, it's for girls like grades 3 to 12, and they learn mind wellness and fitness and nutrition, and they just develop like healthy habits, and that they're creating like habits that are going to build and last for a lifetime, and that creates a ripple effect. It's like their siblings, oh, these kids are meal prepping. They're making their own lunches. They're making good choices. And then their sister, their little brother wants a piece of that, right? They want that. They want that bento box looking so good, right? So
Yeah.
that creates that effect. And then their families and maybe through their friends. And when they grow up, they kind of have this idea about, I have a good attitude between like for fitness and nutrition and exercise and all of that. So it does ripple through, and maybe their kids, we can maybe start to create some change in the world if everyone just realizes that exercise doesn't suck. It's actually fun. It's good. And you feel good, right? Mentally. It's you never regret a workout. I've never regretted a workout in my life ever. Maybe doing
Yeah.
it, like while I was doing it.
Yeah, I have two daughters, and your
Yep.
Fit and Fierce program definitely
Hmm.
caught my eye. And I had a
Yes.
feeling I had a feeling you were going to say that is what you're most proud of,
Yes,
because
I
I could
am.
only imagine you probably see the girls' confidence come to them as they're
Oh,
going through that program.
it is honestly, truly is incredible. Like it just makes me so grateful. I get emotional about it when I talk about it because we see girls that some are young, and now we have girls that have gone through the program for years and they're working with us now. Um, it's just to see them grow is phenomenal. Like I can't express to you how much change that we see, and just how they believe in themselves is really key, and their attitudes, how they talk to themselves, how they treat themselves, and that that is a lot. That's a big deal because there's a lot of negative talk as you're growing up. It's hard, especially now, right? So they have to deal with a lot. So I think just to be able to be part of a team that is like their cheerleader, I nothing makes me more happy.
I started this podcast because I want to build a library of interviews with
Mhm.
all types of occupations, because I left a career that I wasn't happy in.
Right.
And I wonder if there's any advice you could give to that person out there that has always been interested in personal fitness.
Mhm.
What kind of advice could you give them to pursue a career and maybe make a switch into your industry?
I feel like if it is calling you, if it is something that honestly speaks to your heart, I say go for it. If you have um, the ability to go through the program like Nate, I would do that. I think it is comprehensive. You will learn so much, and if changing people's lives is something that matters to you, or just being a positive effect, having that positive attitude. I mean, you are around positive energy a lot. Like you have that around you a lot because you are doing some really great things. So it's a happy career, I think. I know in the pandemic it was a little bit tough, but I think overall, as an entrepreneur and going into business for yourself, it's extremely rewarding. And if you build a team and you build a gym, financially, it can be really lucrative for you. So I feel if it's calling you, you go and you get the knowledge and you get the experience and you get the education and go for it. Don't stop because it's amazing. It really is. And you get to walk your dogs in between clients and do cool things that if you were stuck at a desk, you wouldn't be able to do, right? So there's some freedoms in being an entrepreneur that I'm also really grateful for.
Well, Kelsey, thank you
Yeah.
so much for taking the time to talk to us
Yeah.
today.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations in choosing a career that can inspire and change people's lives.
Oh,
Congratulations on that.
thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this because it just made me happy as well. And I was looking at all the other things, and I think this is a great resource for people going, what the heck do I want to do? I don't even know. And now if I hear
Yeah.
from somebody, it like might spark something for them. So thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Job Talk podcast. For more information, please visit us at thejobtalk.com. Our podcast music was created by our friend Mike Malone in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.